I'm getting the signal. Welcome to Leadership for the Future, Warrior, Leader, Sage, where every single week we get together here, right here, simultaneously on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to talk about the psychology and the strategies to become a leader in both your life and your business, to powerfully lead both. And as I've said many, many times, there's never been a time in our recent history, in my opinion, you can judge for yourself, where we have a serious need for true leadership in this world. Now, we're going to talk about what leaders do. One of the primary qualities of taking leadership of both your life and your business here in just a moment. But while we're waiting for everyone to come in here, let me just tell you on Facebook, thank you for being here, and right down here is a share button. Please weigh in, say hello, tell me who you are, where you're weighing in from. We're growing this community worldwide, and that is really exciting to me, and you're helping me with that by hitting that share button down there. It's really easy to do. You see it right there. Just share. Help me, help you, help those you love and care about. And let's build some more leaders and leadership, true leadership in this world. On Instagram, you can regram, you can invite, please do. That means a lot to me as we grow this community on multiple platforms. And on Twitter, you can retweet as well. While we're doing that and while people are weighing in, then let me just tell you, as always, this is episode number 56. So if you're joining for the first time, welcome. And you're way, way behind. Where the hell have you been? Right? Don't worry, I got you covered. We have all of the previous 55 episodes libraried on jamesray.com/live-cast. Once again, jamesray.com/live-cast. And they're all there. And we have all kinds of topics from how to live to be 100, which was a real popular one, to different leadership qualities and abilities, what warrior leadership is about, and so on and so forth. So you'll want to go there and check it out. It's free, and it's there as a resource for your life and your business. Also, on Facebook, as you know, I'm not going to have time to answer your questions here live, and there's normally a lot of them. So if you need additional clarification or you want to go deeper on a particular issue, just put it down below. I always come back after the fact, and I enjoy seeing those things. And I'll answer it, I'll flesh it out, I'll do whatever you need to do. You know, unfortunately on Instagram and Twitter, I don't believe we have that possibility. Do we? Bear's saying Twitter, we do. Okay, yeah, so you can leave me, a question on Twitter, or on Instagram, you can send me a PM and I'll get back to you. I do my best to answer all of those. It's a big job, but it's worth it because I care. So, one last thing, let me just do a quick shout out to all of you who shared on Facebook last week and helped us grow this community as it continues to do so. Rob Genius, Anthony Rogers, Andrew Rogers. Hey, they split up this time. They didn't come in as the twins. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Tracy Bauer, let me just turn off this ringer so we're not interrupted. Nora Jones, Sean Morse, Lana Monday, Gratitude 24/7, 365. We are all one. Allison Sims, this red pen is really hard to read. Shammy Shammy. Is that Shammy Shammy? Damn, that's a cool name. Shammy Shammy, that's a new name too. Shammy Shammy, thanks for being here and thanks for sharing. I hope you're here now. Sandy Arango, Kelton Jeter, Nicola Jenkins, Pranav Hanreo. Good to see you coming in every week, Pranav. Keep it up. Christian Branca, Paul Campbell, Jyoti Aurora. Christian Branca shared on 2 different platforms. Thank you, dear. Jyoti Aurora, Tommy Allen Rains, and Jay Lee, my friend over there on the worst coast. Because the West Coast is the best coast, as you know. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into leadership. And let me just take times, take handwritten notes because it engages the right brain and facilitates whole brain learning. Are we having problems? No, you're making faces behind the camera. Stop that shit, will you? Okay. So leaders take absolute ownership. regardless of your title or position, they think, true leaders, think like entrepreneurs, even if and when you work for another company, you must act like an owner. The entrepreneurial mindset, the leader's mindset, the owner's mindset. Now, let me just ask a quick question, and so I know who I'm talking to here. Just weigh in down below real quickly and tell me I'm an entrepreneur, I work for a company, or I'm both. Okay, a lot of us are both, and that means you're building your business on the fringes of the day, and a lot of people do that. Lots of props to you. But just let me know so I know who the audience is. Entrepreneur, I'm a full-on entrepreneur. I'm working for a company currently, or I'm both. I'm working for a company, and I'm also building a business on the side. Are we getting any comments coming in there real quick, Barrett? Or I know there's some delay.
Cottonwood, both.
Both. We got a both.
Kimberly, both.
We got a both. Kimberly. Is that Kimberly? Where the hell have you been, sweetheart? We got both on Twitter. We got
You're on a both.
a lot of both. Okay. All right. So cool. Let's talk about that, because let me submit to you, and I'm going to use Cottonwood, who came in here just a moment ago and commented on Facebook. I'm going to use her as an example. Hang tight, Cottonwood. You're going out to the world here in just a minute. But let me just tell you, if you're working for a company, I cut my eye teeth at AT&T in sales, also at AT&T School of Business. I was a C-suite consultant, working with leaders and CEOs and presidents. I just made up a word, at AT&T, and I didn't talk like that when I was working with them, though, I promise you that. But nonetheless, one of the things I learned all the way back then, before I leapt off and started my own business, was that I had to act and think like an owner. Even when I was on payroll. So many of you who are building both, so many of you who want to become an entrepreneur, let me tell you, I hear this all the time. Well, James, I want to start my own business, or I need a new job. Well, maybe. But let me promise you this from my own personal experience at AT&T. The thing you must do right now, if you're working for a company, is you must outgrow your current position. You with me on this? Because, and I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship in just a moment, because this is the age of the entrepreneur. But the fact is, you will never, ever, ever, ever be blessed by being less than your current position. Does that make sense to you? You see, so many people I find who want to start their own business play halfway on payroll because they're so excited to start their own business. Not a good strategy. Not a good strategy. The universe, God, the quantum field will not bless you when you're playing half-baked, when you're playing half-assed, when you're not going all in. You've got to outgrow your current position, and then you have no choice but to be offered greater opportunity. That's what happened for me, and that's what happens with the clients that I work with, is that they outgrow. I reached the top of my game at AT&T. I made a decision that I was going to act like I owned the place. Now, obviously, I didn't own AT&T, far from it, but I acted like I owned the place. And I'm not talking about some, bullshit cockiness. What I'm talking about is owning fully and completely the results you're producing, owning fully and completely your position, even your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Owning those fully and completely. Nobody can make you think or feel anything you do not choose to think or feel. Am I right? You have to become an owner. You have to have a leader-owner mindset. First and foremost, and if you want to leap off and start your own business, I can help you do that. I've done it, and I've helped, countless hundreds of thousands of other people do it as well. And I can promise you this, unless and until you outgrow your current position, you are not going to be at the top of your game, and you're not going to lead the field in a new position. You see, owning means you do every single thing it takes to get the job done. Owners take full responsibility and accountability and ownership for results. Masterful results. Are you tracking with me on this? Don't think you can play half-assed on payroll for somebody else because you want to be an entrepreneur and you're putting all your energy and effort and you're sneaking on the side and trying to build your business on someone else's dime. Not a good move. Not a good move at all. Okay? Now, let's not also romanticize what it means. This is the age of the entrepreneur. It definitely is. Entrepreneurs change the world. And I think all of us, for the most part, should commit to being entrepreneurs, even if it's on the fringes, even if we're not ready to make the leap yet. Because entrepreneurs change the world, and yet let's not romanticize what that means. Here's what it doesn't mean. Being an entrepreneur, and no one's going to tell you this for the most part, but I always shoot you straight if you know me, and that's why you're here, hopefully. But being an entrepreneur, a lot of people romanticize this. Oh my God, I'm going to get to work from home, and I'm going to get to spend a lot of time, a bunch of free time with my kids and my family. Oh, bullshit. No. Nope. I'm going to work less hours. No. Let me tell you what the bottom line is. Let me tell you the hard facts. The current statistics, the current research in today's world says that the average American worker, and I know we have people all over the world here, so forgive me using American statistics, but they're probably fairly similar where you're tuning in from as well. Maybe a little different depending upon your culture. Some cultures work a little less, some work a little more, but the average American worker on payroll works about 33 hours a week. 33 hours a week, not even 40, okay? And what the research tells us is that men work more than women, okay? Men work a little over 8, women work just a little bit over 7, and the average is about 33 hours a week. Well, let's talk about entrepreneurs. The average entrepreneur works 60 hours a week. Double what the person on payroll does. Let's not romanticize. And you know, for me, 60 hours a week seems like a vacation because I prescribe to the Elon Musk school of entrepreneurship. I work 100-hour weeks. Straight up, every single week. Because you see, I work hard, but it's hardly work because I'm doing what I'm called to do. I'm living and fulfilling my purpose, and therefore, you know, I'm loving it. I'm working right now. This is part of my purpose, to help you find yours and fulfill yours. And so, you know, let's not romanticize what it means to be an entrepreneur. It's hard work, and it's long hours, more hours, but it's worth it. It's worth it because the rewards are great and the results that you create are your own, right? And you know, nowhere is the drive for entrepreneurship stronger than in the new generations, although they romanticize it a lot. Let me tell you something. You know, if you're in the millennial group, which I love, potentially can be some of the greatest leaders in modern history. I mean that literally. And yet we've got to let go of romanticism, right? It's not about sitting on your butt and clicking a mouse and not working hard. You're going to have to work hard. Let's not romanticize because there's a strong pull. You know, 64% of the new jobs being created are being created by small businesses. That's entrepreneurial businesses. And so you've got to start thinking like an entrepreneur. When would now be the time for you to become a leader? Stop looking for leaders. Become one. Act like an owner. Take full ownership. of the work you're doing, regardless of whether your name's on the door or not. You see, the age of work for a company for life and retire with a gold watch, I mean, that's a long ago faded memory. And some of you are young enough, you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, right? I mean, that's a long ago faded memory. Loyalty. Long ago faded memory. The companies are not loyal to you anymore. I'm sorry to burst your bubble if you think that's true, that they are loyal to you, but they're not. They're not. The companies are scrambling to stay alive. On the flip side, employees are not loyal to the company either. They're just not. Let me tell you what the average time with a company is, according to current research. About 4 years. The average. And anytime you get an average, it tells you there's some that stay 6 and some that stay 2, but the average is 4. Okay? The average time with a company in today's world is about 4 years. Now, if you're a millennial, it's half that. Millennials are the 2-year people. All right? And I love you millennials. I really, really do. You've got so much potential and so much opportunity to become some of the greatest leaders and quit chasing the shiny objects. You got to hunker down. You got to lock in. I'm not saying you have to lock in with a company, but you got to find your purpose and you got to go all in. Everything. No defenses, no holding back, all in. Right? Instead of going, squirrel, right? And, oh, look at that. Oh, there. I'm going to make some money over there. No. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. All right? Small business. Let's talk about small business. It makes up 99.7% of employment right now. 99.7% of employment is through small business. I already told you 64% of the new jobs created are through entrepreneurial businesses. This is where we're headed, guys. Now, Fortune 500 companies, when I was growing up, I got on with AT&T, man, I was sad. That was a get. I landed a big get. I got on with AT&T, man, and that was a big get, right? Not so much anymore, because the average lifespan of a Fortune 500 company, get this, used to be 75 years. You know what it is now? 15 years. And it's declining at Mach 10. Right now, as we speak, by the time you check the next stat, the next survey, the next research, it'll probably be down to 13 years, right? It's really rapidly declining. So the large companies are going away. Entrepreneurship is on the rise, and I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're paying attention to what I'm saying, because you got to become a leader. You got to become a leader or you're going to get left. If you are not frequently changing, get this, put this in your notes, changing your business model, changing your business approach, changing your life model, changing your life approach, changing your mindset, your psychology and your strategies, then you're most likely going out of business. You're most likely going the way of the T-Rex. Okay? Because, listen to me, nothing fails today like the success of yesterday. Anything about my life, I stepped out of the marketplace for 6 years, 6 full years. That's an eternity. And I came back to a market that didn't even exist when I stepped out. I came back to an entire new world in only 6 years. It's happening quickly, and it's not going to stop. Forbes magazine tells us that by the year 2020, it's not very far away, by the year 2020, 50% of the workforce. Now I want you to think about this. 50% of the workforce are going to be independent coaches and consultants. This is Forbes magazine, one of the top business magazines in the world. by the year 2020? Are you getting prepared? I mean, what that means is that if you're working for a company right now, you can look to your left and look to your right, and chances are good that one of you is gone in a couple of years. And it might be the guy or the gal in the middle, right? And it happens like this. You better start acting like an owner right now. Are you with me? You know, most people wait until they've been cut before they do anything differently. I mean, this is just, you know, this is an unfortunate truth about the human species. When is it that we typically get onto a diet and exercise program? Well, check around. It's normally after we have a heart attack and the doctor goes, you better do this or you're done. Am I right? When is it we normally invest in a burglar alarm? Well, 99.9% of the time we get a burglar alarm after we've been robbed. Too late. Too late. You know, I told you I was going to brag on Cottonwood here a little bit. Cottonwood is one of my Prometheans. And, you know, we have a very exclusive academy called the Prometheus Academy of Leadership and Business Acceleration. It's by application and invitation only, where we're studying all the strategies to become world-class coaches and consultants. It's not a 3-day workshop. It's not a 5-day workshop. It's a academy, because that's the only way to be world-class. And Cottonwood's a member of that. And you know, I've been posting all week long, and if you start to pay attention, you'll notice that ramping up to our live cast every week, all my posts are thematic. I come up with a theme, and I have a theme all week long that kind of lead up here to Leadership for the Future. Well, you know, Cottonwood had seen some of the posts this week, and she hadn't even, she's here now. Cottonwood, hey. Talked to you tonight, by the way. And she said, she posted on Facebook, I went into my boss. I saw what you wrote, James. And I went into my boss and I said, starting today, I'm going to act like I own the place. Boss said, what? She goes, settle down, be cool. You know, I'm not going to be cocky. I'm not going to be arrogant. I'm going to act like I own the place. And she said they had a great discussion. He pulled up a chair and said, tell me about this. And had a great discussion. I'll find out more details later, probably Cottonwood. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think he was super impressed and super excited. I know I would be, you know, because, you know, Bear, who you don't see very often on the other side of the camera here, she acts like an owner. She acts like she owns Harmonic World Global, all right? And everyone on my team, you know, acts the same way. And I drive that kind of behavior. I say, hey, don't come and ask me what you need to do. You come tell me what you need to do. Own your position, right? And so, you know, we're in a critical shift in our world right now. And you're either shifting or you're getting shifted, right? When would now be the time? The new motto in today's world is, in business and in life, is reinvent, disrupt, adapt, or die. Now, that's pretty harsh, but it's true nonetheless. Let me repeat that. The new motto, your motto, you might want to write this down, is reinvent, disrupt, adapt, or die. Because things are changing more rapidly now than they've ever changed in our history. This kind of motto, and more importantly, this kind of living, takes extreme mental toughness. It takes extreme emotional strength. It's hard enough in your 20s. It's uber hard in your 50s. But nonetheless, it's got to be done. And that's, you know, when I'm working one-on-one with clients, that's the main thing that I'm doing, is I am helping them develop the mental toughness and the emotional strength, also known as resilience, to adapt, to reinvent, to you know, I can't tell you how many people end up in their mid-late 50s and they've been at a company forever and their job's gone. That's tough. That's tough. But it's the way of the world, and we can complain all day long and say, boy, it shouldn't be that way, or we can adapt and learn how to take advantage of it. And the greatest way to do that is for you right now, right here, right now. This is a defining moment for you to start taking complete ownership. If you're on payroll, take complete ownership of your job, because you automatically become more valuable. And don't sit around and daydream about your new entrepreneurial adventure. Start to outgrow your current position, and then you're going to be a better individual when you move into your entrepreneurial adventures. Does that make sense to you? I'm not saying you don't work on it on the fringes of the day, but never ever shortchange your position to do something, that you think is romantic. Hopefully we've blown some of the romanticism out of it. It's hard work. Leaders know they must take complete and extreme ownership of every single thing that you do, irrespective of your title or position. An entrepreneurial mindset has never been more critical than in today's world. And let me just tell you, when you think like a leader, when you think like an owner, and if you're on payroll, go ask your boss, what's the most important thing to him or her? And I'd be willing to bet they're going to say one thing: results. Results are job number one. We have a list of corporate values here at Harmonic Wealth Global, and guess what value number one is? Results. And let me tell you something that you need to be reminded of time and time again. Results do not equal no results plus a good story. Well, I was going to get that done, but let me tell you, my car had a flat, and my kid got sick, and I didn't feel well, and I was tired, James. I was tired. I'm just tired. I got too much to do, and no. I don't want to hear your stories, okay? Those are just stories. Results do not equal no results plus a good story. Results are results. And leaders get results because that's job number one. Leaders don't quit when they're tired. They quit when it's done. Now look, I would never ask you to do anything I don't do for myself. That's another quality of leadership. I told you I work 100-hour weeks. My philosophy is the forces of darkness are not taking a day off. How can I afford to? The forces that are attempting to disempower you and make this world an uglier, worse place for you are not taking a day off. How can I? That's my philosophy, and it may not work for you. That's okay. You're not me. But I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do. I go to bed exhausted every single night, and that's exactly how I want it, because I'm also inspired, and I'm also grateful that I got a lot done, and I'm doing something great in the world. But it's not just about working long and hard either. Don't make that mistake. You see a lot of things on social media. Grind, hustle. Well, it's not just grind and hustle. You got to work smart too. When I do business consulting, which I've done a lot of throughout my entire career, all the way back to AT&T and ever since, there's two things I look at in life and business, and two things you need to know about. There's efficiency and there's effectiveness. Now here's the difference. Efficiency is doing things right. When you're efficient, you're doing things right. Effectiveness, on the other hand, is doing the right things. So, which one is most important? The answer is both. But if you have one without the other, what if you're doing things right, but you're doing the wrong things? I'm so efficient. I'm scrolling. I am the best scroller through Facebook feed of anyone on the planet. I can keep up with all my friends more efficiently than anybody. No. You're really efficient at doing bullshit. Okay? And that's the mass majority in today's world. You know, research tells us that the average individual working their 33 hours, please, anyone who works 33 hours a week doesn't have a purpose. Sorry. That's my opinion. You can disagree. But that's my experience as well. You know, and they spend 50% of their day in distraction. According to research, 50% of that 33 hours, 15 hours a week in distraction. Total crap, not getting anything done. And you wonder why most people leave this lifetime with the music still in them. Let that not be you. You can be really efficient at doing the wrong stuff. Or you can be effective, which means you're doing the right stuff, but you're not doing it very well. You get the difference here. You're not masterful at it. You're not great. You're doing the right things, but you're not doing what it takes to be masterful and great. So you got to have both, efficiency and effectiveness. Obviously, you know, there are multiple factors that go into creating results, but I'm going to give you real quickly here 5 key areas that we, my company and I'm teaching Prometheus Academy members to learn and know as well. 5 key areas that we look at and we diagnose prior to coming up with any solutions. When I do one-on-one leadership and performance coaching, I diagnose before I prescribe. Prescription without diagnosis is called malpractice, right? And so there's 5 key areas that good coaches, consultants, and advisors look at prior to any kind of solution or any kind of prescription, if you will. And I call these the 5 dimensions of leadership and ultimate performance in both life and business. This apply to your life, they apply to your business. 5 dimensions of leadership and ultimate performance, mastery, in both life and business. And here they are: philosophy, psychology, physiology, community, and then systems and strategies. I'll repeat it again: philosophy, psychology, physiology, community, and systems and strategies. Now, you know, obviously we don't have the time here to go into each of them in depth and detail. As I told you, the members of my Prometheus Academy for Leadership and Business Acceleration are expected, those of you who are here, Kimberly, Cottonwood, I know you're here for sure, you're expected to know these forwards and backwards and to utilize them in your life, because you can't give what you don't have. And by the way, I've mentioned Prometheus Academy a couple of times. If you're interested, there's a link right above my head here. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, you can just click the link. If you're on Instagram, I'm sorry, Bear? Yeah. If you're on Instagram, it's in my bio. But there's a link for the Prometheus Academy. It's by application only. You click the link, and it'll take you right to the application. We're looking for a few good individuals, and I promise you, if you're not committed to world class, then don't even bother clicking the link, because it's hard work, and yet it's worth it. But also remember that Forbes tells us by the year 2020 that 50% of the workforce is going to be independent coaches and consultants. So let me teach you through, you know, the life experiences and business experiences I have, how you can become world class in those arenas. Click the application link, fill out the application, and then we'll set you up with an interview call with one of my faculty. Obviously, you know, I can't get in all 5 dimensions here today to come back to those. I don't have the time. But please understand this. For both life and your business, everything counts. Everything affects everything. Do you think your physiology, in other words, your vibrance, your energy, your vitality, your health, your fitness, affects your performance and the results you do or do not produce? No or yes? Of course it does. Everything affects everything. And if you're not looking at all 5 of these dimensions in your life and your business, you're coming up short. Because an incomplete person, let's talk about your life, an incomplete person is incomplete in their life, they're incomplete in their fulfillment, and they're incomplete in their results. Let's talk about a business. An incomplete business is incomplete in their direction, they're incomplete in their performance, and they're incomplete in their culture. Period. Maybe, just maybe, if we as leaders start to look at the whole person, more fully and completely at the whole person, starting with yourself. You can't give what you don't have. Then maybe, just maybe, we would build better teams. Maybe, just maybe, we would build better performance. Does that make sense to you? Just a thought. It begins with you. Leadership, ownership begins now. Wherever you are, regardless of where you are. If you already have a business, then you got to start taking more ownership of everything, including your thoughts, your feelings, your health, your fitness, your diet, your mindset, your psychology, your community, how you use your time. If you're on payroll right now, chances are great, if Forbes is accurate, that you're going to be off payroll in the near future. Sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, but the good news is you get started now and you prepare now to be ahead of the curve. Take ownership now of your life and of your position and of your business and outgrow it. It begins with you. So, once again, you want my help? I'd love to help you. If you are willing to step up to the Navy SEALs training, we call Prometheus Academy the Navy SEALs training of world-class coaches and consultants. You know anything about the Navy SEALs, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not the soft stuff. You know, if you know anything about me by now, you know I'm a no BS kind of guy. You just click the link on Twitter or on Facebook and fill out the application. Filling out the application does not guarantee you'll be accepted, but you will be guaranteed an interview. Okay? And if you're the right fit on both sides, us for you and you for us, then we can rock and roll and change the world. If you're on Instagram, go to my bio and it's there for you as well. I hope I've given you some things to think about. Take ownership, and we'll be here same time next week. Until we speak again, as always, stay awake, love life, and be epic.